Good morning, good afternoon, friends. This is Tracy Brown, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, I guess here in the States, this hemisphere, Northern Hemisphere, there are a lot of people traveling a little bit more. I wouldn't say a lot, but some. I know I just came back from honestly, the last 3 weeks of going places, doing stuff, and that's not typical for me, but it's happening, so whatever. So I went to Durango, Colorado at the end of June maybe, and then last week I was with my family on the farm in Illinois. There's a point to all this story. And then here right now I'm back in Colorado, house sitting my in-laws' house for not quite a week, but anyway. And I'm house sitting because they have a great house and a great dog, and it doesn't matter where we work from, right? So anyway, I'm sharing all that because when you end up entering other people's spaces, sometimes you're also going to be dealing with their stuff, right? That's just human nature. We're wired to connect. But when you're a highly sensitive person, like at least most of my clients are, like I am, I tend to attract those folks, is that there's this truth-telling consciousness in our clients. But because it's really scary if they tend to be around people who have a lot more fear about vulnerability in that kind of way, it's really scary for our clients to maintain the recovery well when they're traveling, when they're back at the scene of a lot of things that were overwhelming for them, that their younger parts just didn't have a say, didn't have a voice, all the things. So I wanted to share with you today maybe a little bit of an exercise you could try with some of your clients. I had a client this morning that I did this with, and we've done it different ways and different times. Sometimes it's more of a role-playing kind of boundary keeping. Sometimes it's a little bit more physical thing. So let me give you an example, and then we'll talk about like a very brief mini demonstration of how to do it, and then I have an invitation for you. So let's say you have a client that's going to be back at their childhood home, or maybe their people are visiting them, and mom says, "Oh, I can't believe these pictures. I can't believe how my chin looks in it. And I can't believe I'm as big as I am. I didn't really see myself that way. I can't believe this." And there's a little bit of intensity. And then your client says, at first is maybe a little frozen, and maybe you've coached them quite a bit on, how they want to respond to when that happens, but they still feel kind of stuck and frozen, and they can't really speak the truth because, honestly, maybe the situation is that even though your client is always like, "I can't talk to you about food and body image stuff right now. I get too overwhelmed and it impacts my food." Maybe they tried to set the boundary in the past, and that family member, whether it's in person often if they live with them or they're coming to visit, but they've already said like, "Hey, this is what I need," but they just don't get it because of their own blind spots of their own body image stuff. This is a pretty common example. The details can vary, but the people sometimes close to our clients don't understand that this body image stuff that our clients struggle with doesn't happen in a vacuum. They've learned it from somewhere, and it may not be anybody's direct fault, but if our clients' close people aren't understanding that they just can't participate in that body bashing, and they've already said so, and our clients can't speak up anymore past that, they need a little bit more help. So let's say you've done some coaching, you talked about that, here's the kind of language, like, "Mom, I need you to hear me. I'm really sad that you feel this way about your body, but I can't participate I just can't agree with you that there's a problem with your neck, your body, that your body's bigger. That must be really hard for you, but I can't agree with you that your body's a problem. And what would it be like to focus more on the goodness of that, what was happening in that picture?" And what usually happens sometimes is our clients kind of get blown off. And that feels like a recapitulation of like what I say doesn't matter, my feelings are too much. And if the coaching has already been, "Mom, I feel like when I mentioned how I felt about things, kind of minimize my feelings about it or what I tried to offer you. Did you notice that?" If that's not proving effective, our clients need to be able to be okay with the separation. Can I create a compassionate witness to there's a part of me that really, really needs and wants full support, my parents to get it, for me to be able to feel strong enough to go forward. And our clients have to recognize in now time as adults, if you're working with adults, there's a different expectation for teenagers and younger kids. But as adults, we have more say, we have more resources to be able. It just takes a lot of practice to keep that boundary. So the physical, if all that's happening, before you do a role play, to do this more somatically, what I would suggest is creating some kind of boundary, or even if you do this virtually, I do this virtually with my clients. So let's say that you put scarves, pillows, some kind of barrier, like a physical thing your client can be in, and on the other side is the conversation, no matter where it's coming from. And what would it feel like for your client to have a boundary, a physical boundary, as a protector? Because what we're trying to do here is install a protector, that it's okay to have this voice, even if people that we need in our lives, or basically want in our lives, and would like for certain needs to get met for them, even if they can't, we can still have a boundary. And can they feel inside that even though our 10-year-old self or our 16-year-old self didn't maybe have the voice for that or the language for that, what they needed, but it was just kind of inherent, that their adult selves can provide for those younger parts now in relationship with people that maybe sometimes just don't get it, let us down, whatever. So the explicit of this is to bring that explicit, make this implicit explicit. Here's the need for protection, here's the need to be heard. And when it can't be, still having a boundary of like, I'm still okay, even if they minimize my feelings. It's not okay that they do that, but I'm not too much if that happens. Because if we don't deal with this as being a giant trigger for them, whether it's boundaries or transitions this summer into the fall, whatever happens, they need to know that they're inherently okay, even if those needs aren't going to get met by people they want them to. This is a huge, super big issue. It's a super big thing that impacts threat responses, to be able to go to meals and eat their meal plan, slow down enough to know when enough is enough, feel their fullness, that kind of stuff. So if you want to do more examples like this, today's July 19th, we will be doing our next group supervision on Tuesday, July 27th. So that's coming up. So a week and a day, 4 p.m. Eastern. You can go to my website, my professional training website, embodieddietitian.com, and go to the services, and you'll see online group coaching. And so we do that group once a month. Last month was super, super good. We had four people and just kind of worked through cases and did this kind of stuff. We had a lot of time. Everybody got a lot of time to share cases, ask questions, play with nuances of exercises, what's missing when we role play, like where do we get stuck. We have a really good time. Everybody learns from each other. I learn from you all. So if you're interested in that, more examples, we will be doing that soon. And I recognize that the summer is starting to fly by, so just to put it on your calendar if you're interested, we will be doing our 12-week trauma-informed course, and I just finished up our last bonus for the winter cohort, so the lasts pretty long. You can probably stretch this training out a full 6 months. We take a lot of time. It's a 12-week course, but sometimes we take usually multiple break weeks within that 3 months, so it ends up being probably closer to a 4-month commitment, but we have some weeks off, that kind of thing. But anyway, we will start that on September 3rd. That's a Friday. And time zones, based on who shows up, then we kind of adjust the start time. So that's how it's going to roll. So if you're interested, we already have a couple people signed up and ready. And I look for it. If you have any questions about it, you want to learn more about it, please just email me, private message me, and I'll answer all the questions you need about it. I think that's it. So that's September if you want to put that on your calendar. But for now, thank you so much. If anybody tries this exercise and the client has a different experience of what it feels like to have a protector, to have a boundary, please put it in the comments below so we can all learn about how it works. So my client, I've done this with her twice. It's the same client, the same issue. Unfortunately, I don't get to see her often, which is often case that we don't get to see people weekly is that we have to repeat these things and nourish that neural pathway, because it's really hard when you live in a household with a lot of fat phobia going on. You're always going to have a low level of like not safety. And so she needs a lot of experiences. So we've done a couple times. It has helped her be able to separate herself from those fearful parts. It doesn't always get results from her family she would like, but we talk about how she's kind of ahead of them with this game, and it's going to take longer for them to be out of the denial, given that she's lived in that for many, many years by herself. So this is going to seem like a new thing for them, even though she's actually known it's been a thing for all of them for a long time. So it takes a while to have it. You got to have enough experiences of co-regulation and a new experience to start to feel like it's real in your bones, and that's what we're trying to cultivate. So thank you so much for watching this long video. Hope it was helpful. If it was, let your friends and colleagues know that this group exists for a place to connect about experiential stuff around recovery. So thank you so much. Talk to you soon. Bye.